Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie, and this is 2025. We took yesterday off. Thank y'all so much, and we're back to give you another year of, well, dependable, straightforward. What happened?
We call it local.
Yes, sir.
We call it live because it's always telling you what's going on, when it's happening. And for our locality, it is our area with our actual surrounding communities, which we all call our brothers and sisters, and we're one. We all feed off of each other. We feed off of Newton County. We feed off of Neshoba County. They feed off of us. We feed Clark County. We work hand in hand with them. We are a one big unit, and right here, live and local, you can find Scotty Ray and that hat just about anywhere.
New Orleans. Oh, man. And New Orleans is not far from us. It's a 2 to 3 hour trip for the most part.
Oh,
you
yeah.
go down, enjoy yourself for the weekend, and come back. New Orleans has had a different way of thinking the last few years, and I've just sort of taken that off my radar of ever going there. It's just not my thing anymore.
I still like, not as much as I used to, but now, a friend of mine, we would go down there at least every 3 months and enjoyed it and really liked New Orleans.
But anywhere you go, and let me say this, where it's in the south, it's in the north, in the east, or the west of the United States, be prepared when there's a large crowd, there's people that want to bring harm and hurt the most people that they can, I think is the way to word that.
Yeah, this, yes, he was an American citizen. He was in our armed forces in the Army.
Yep.
Still a supporter of ISIS.
Let me show, the FBI has released, and this is their statement. Let me show y'all the picture here that we have from the FBI. And this is straight from the FBI page here. This is the guy here, the most recent picture that we've got there. His name, can you pronounce that? Shamad Jabbar. That's pretty close there. From Texas, a U.S. citizen. Now, he's done a little bit of everything. We don't know everything that is known at this point, but when this first happened, they were trying to say, oh, this could be terrorists, and then the closer you look, there was the flag on the back of the truck as it went down. It was Texas rental. Both cars, the tie-in now between Las Vegas, and they were rented from the same app on the phone. There's many, many tie-ins. There is so much going on there, Odie, as we talked about in that first show, that the Sugar Bowl was postponed yesterday and possibly could be postponed today again. They don't know. And where are these other 4 people?
You've got to find them. Whether they're still there or they've gone somewhere else, you still got to know. You've got to keep our Americans safe. And we have failed to do that. However you want to look at it, we have failed to do that because we allow anybody and everybody to just freely walk through. Now, did he just walk through? Nope, he's been here for a while, and that could, don't know, fall under what we call a sleeper cell. Well, you've heard of that for years. Russia started this years ago where they took children. And
there was movies about all of that.
And there was movies. They turned them into Americanites, moved them over here, and they were here when they needed to infiltrate. Same thing's happening here. But now we freely allow people to walk in. We don't vet. We don't look at who's coming into our country.
Did you hear me talking about the measures that New Orleans, how they had the car up and it was just a gate? This week, Angie Ray's been gone along with Dylan Ray. She went to visit. They went to Washington. Then they went on to D.C. And they were up getting some pictures for us for the inauguration. They have garbage trucks that are lining the streets to where you can't drive through a garbage truck. It blocks all streets to where that extra precaution. You ain't going through one
You
of them.
ain't going through no garbage truck.
And New Orleans, hello. And as we mentioned that a while ago, like military bases that have the buttons that raise up the concrete barriers out of the ground, maybe we need this on street corners and all of the. I'm sure that would be costly, but whatever. We're wasting a lot of money in other areas that we could cut back and put where we need to protect our citizens.
What do you think? What we just happened down in New Orleans?
True.
That was costly. Here we're gonna keep going back to this right here. We have the money. If we would take it and use it for the protection of our citizens instead of giving it to people who want to just sit at home, smoke dope, drink beer, sitting on their porch and not worry about doing anything and being part of society.
But there's other, but Odie, there's other things that we may waste our money on, giving to countries that we protect other countries.
I agree with that 100%.
Billions of dollars that are NATO. We give billions there. No one else hardly gives anything.
Well, you know, we had that stopped 8 years ago.
Yeah,
no more of that. Y'all come back, and then
we need to really reevaluate and you got to take care of your own first, and then you branch out and you help others. Now, I'm not saying don't help others. Y'all don't take me wrong, but we got to take care of our own. We're in a mess right now.
Why would we go out to another country and pay for them to build up walls to protect their country, but yet we fail to do that here in our own homeland? That makes absolutely no sense.
And you will notice the way America, and I have to dance around this the way you talk about all of this, of the different platforms that are in America. You cannot show the majority of what happened because, well, they'll ding you on any social media account if you show the truth. The only one that can show all this now is Twitter, which is now X.
That's
you
right.
can post stuff there, but if you post it anywhere else, it'll be immediately taken down. Mm-hmm. I can remember Daryl Worley talking about the Twin Towers. You know, they took it off my TV, and I thought, well, no, he's just imagining. No, that's true. Who would have thought after 2001 would be where we are today, to where it was just they didn't want to show it.
And who sang that song? Have We Forgotten?
It's Daryl Worley.
Okay. That's the biggest thing. We still do not realize what we went through as a country with open borders. And anytime we have somebody that tries to close them to protect Americans, we have a whole section of folks that stand up and say, no, we're not going to do that.
We have a
push back.
College football star who was 28 years old, father of two who was 37, among the 15 victims, and then a 18-year-old Mississippi little girl who was on vacation down there, 18 years old, that lost her life also. Her name was Nick, how do you say, Cheyenne? And I apologize.
It starts with an O. We'll say Debra.
She is from Mississippi.
Deborah.
She just graduated high school. We feel so sorry for her parents, and I apologize for not being able to pronounce that correctly. But in the list, they've announced 6. They're going to release the other names very shortly from there. That's an overview of what happened this weekend as we brought in the new year. We're going to get into some local stuff now to let you know what went on in our area. Oh, that's up and coming here at the Scotty Ray Report.
Here at Meridian Cycles, we're your CF Moto headquarters, and here at the end of the year we have a special deal on CF Moto C-Force 500 four-wheelers. We're offering these for only $69.99 plus tax and title. It is a fantastic deal, and let me tell you some of the features that this four-wheeler has. This C-Force 500 features aluminum wheels, power steering, and a 2,500-pound winch, all at an incredible price of $69.99 plus tax and title. Come see us at Meridian Cycles, 80 Highway 19 North, right here in Meridian, or call 601-485-8700. Come see us.
Battery power made by steel. Right now, save $50 on select AK System battery tool sets. Real steel. Find yours.
Advanced Auto Glass by Joey can handle all your windshield repair and replacement needs. Service work is guaranteed and covered by warranty. Our technicians are professional, auto glass trained, and have over 100 years of combined experience. Advanced Auto Glass by Joey utilizes in-house calibrations for vehicle safety systems. Most insurances are accepted, and reliable mobile service is available in surrounding areas. Keep cars cool and secure with custom tinting, side mirror replacement, and Aquapel windshield wipers. There's one clear choice in auto glass repair. Advanced Auto Glass by Joey.
And welcome back. As I mentioned, I've been bacheloring it for a few days.
How's that going?
Left alone, I had chili all by myself last night. And you know what? I was tickled to death to have chili.
You and the dogs.
Yep. They just looked at me like, you going to share that? So then I felt guilty and I opened up the refrigerator and gave them ham. They were happy after that.
There you go.
I ain't kidding. I give in on the dogs when they give me that puppy dog look of gimme, gimme, gimme.
Well, Bert eats anything I eat.
You don't care?
No, and he sits there and looks at me, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll feed you. So.
Washington, D.C., they're getting ready for January the 20th, and I set Angie Ray up, and she was doing my pictures for me. Here's what it looks like in Washington right now. They're building all of this as they get ready for all the seating and what will happen in front of the Capitol. Scaffolding. I didn't realize that's what that was made out of. That's what she looks like as Washington prepares for J20. So be ready for that. That is going to be here before we know it as we come along. Something I wanted to mention, this is not exactly in the East Mississippi. It's a little bit due south there in Mississippi. We had an awful murder take place, and police are looking for this man. Greene County, Mississippi. This is going to be due south, state line area, like if you're going to the beach down there past Waynesboro. This is the area. This guy here robbed a store. He killed 3 people, Odie. I know the picture doesn't show a lot, but you never know somebody who could recognize something from that.
Yeah.
$2,500 is being offered by Crime Stoppers in that area. It was Clark's gas station at St. Peter Street in State Line area. You know, going
Go
down.
through it every time we head south. That's a big boy. Somebody knows who he is.
He killed one person outside the stores that were getting ready to open up and then went in and took 2 others out. For what? They hadn't released how much money he got that I'm aware of, but
it wasn't a whole lot.
No, what's a convenience store going to have? $1,000, $2,000? It's not worth a life.
At the start of the day, they hadn't collected anything.
No. So if you see something, and I've got that on our page, share that if you would. You never know who could be looking and see, I know that guy. So share it if you can.
Shannon says, I inherited a corgi, and he's gained over 20 pounds.
That's what Angie said about me.
Well,
I've gained a lot.
I took Bert to the office during that big storm the other day, and Michael Ted come over there to check on everything, and he said, well, whose dog is this? I said, well, he's mine. He said, well, he's fat, ain't he? And I said, well, I feed him. Bert, I'm sorry if you're up hearing this.
You ever notice how
called you fat?
how pets start to look like their owners?
What are you saying?
I'm not saying anything, Odie. Y'all get ready. This is going to be happening in Neshoba County. They're draining the lake. Mississippi Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. They got to do some repairs there, and they're draining it down. 138 acres there. Neshoba Lake. They're going to be doing some repairs, much needed, I'm sure, but it'll cause a little inconvenience during the winter months, and then hopefully by summer, everything will be back.
Well, at least they're taking it down and controlling this so it doesn't just break through the dam.
That's right.
And cause a big problem. I know a lot of people have talked about, well, what about this other lake? Don't really know. I hadn't studied all that yet, but it might be a good thing to go ahead and drain it.
Let's talk about Lauderdale of what's gone on, what we know. This is, and let's be clear about this. This is still under investigation. I spoke to Sheriff Ward Calhoun earlier this morning. I'm sure he loves my early morning coffee time with him.
I'd like to know what his ringtone is for you.
I'm about to come up with something. We'll send him one. I don't think it's, he's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Batman.
Sheriff Ward Calhoun is always nice to give us the information that they have on this. This is still under investigation. As we've lost another life in Lauderdale, Mississippi is where we're getting at. Wow. We were there. Here's the scene of where all of this happened. We don't know the truth of what went on. We do know that Alexis Deshanna House has passed away from injuries she sustained from a gunshot wound. She was 24 years old. She was originally from Tumsuba. She died of her injuries there. And we sincerely are heartfelt on wishing the family condolences during this time.
That entire community.
Oh, it has gotten, and let's show this. As you're saying there, the community has been suffering as we look at this, as investigators arrive on the scene. Metro Ambulance was there. Then we would move Odie down the street for Life Flight. And let me move over here. And this was set up at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena is where we went. As you'll look here, this is the Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena. I'm not going to turn on all of this makes a lot of noise, but this is where it landed in the field there at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo where you used to park.
Yeah.
The helicopter would never take off. And the reason was she was deceased at the scene. She didn't make it. How sad it is for something to happen like this. This end of the year thing that happened in Lauderdale on all levels is just horrible, isn't it?
It is, and we hate to see that in our area. We hate to see that in any area out there. It's time something changes. The mindset has got to change. What is causing all of this type of disturbance?
And
it's terrible.
Hopefully in a few days, and they're investigating this hard to make sure they got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. And when we get more information as to what went on there, we'll get that to you firsthand. Yeah. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of rumors, but rumors are rumors, and we got to hold off till we get the actual facts of what we know went on there. So we'll get that. Up in just a moment, we're going to go over crime within the city of Meridian.
Wow.
I'll officially get the number of deaths that happened in the county here in just a few minutes. I think it was 5 is what we've got in the county there. We're going to double check that coming up with Sheriff Ward Calhoun after he gets to the office and goes back through his computer to double check everything. We're going to go over what happened in the city. There's a lot that happened in the city in the last year. And I think we need to go over that, Odie. I don't think we need to just go, it was this number. I think we need to go over this line item. And we're going to do that in just a moment. Y'all don't rush off. A lot of this you're going to remember.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie, as we begin January the 2nd. Today is Thursday. I keep wanting to think it's either Monday or some other day because of that day off yesterday.
Feels like a Monday.
It does. But and there's probably going to be a few more businesses closed. Most will open back up today, but expect some places probably, as they took a little much-needed vacation, a little griddle has been closed. I've had that hankering for a hamburger and went, it's not there.
Can't get it there right now, can you?
Not right now. And let's pull this up, and we're going to go over this line by line. If you've never been to our website, we've got a link from Facebook to our website with all of this information on it. This is ScottyRayReport.com. If you've never been there before, we try to keep all this stuff updated. Now, if you will notice the headline, Meridian ends 24 with 14 murders and 1 still under investigation. 1 is still under investigation because the crime lab is closed right now. And there's an autopsy that will determine, Odie, if there was foul play in a case or not. And we're waiting to see if this turns into 15 murders within the city of Meridian. Now, there were a lot of crimes that took place, because if you listen, you go, 14's not that bad. Well, let's go over this play-by-play and tell you how Meridian played out. There are a lot of people, and Odie, I want to say this, that ought to give thanks and get on their knees and go, I'm not one of these numbers.
That's right.
There were numerous people that were shot in the chest, in the legs, that are fortunate to be alive. This number could have easily been 40. Easily.
One is too many, but 14, like you said, seems like a low number.
Let's get into this.
14 people should not have lost their lives.
We go to January of last year. It would be January the 18th before we had our first shooting in Meridian last year. It would be January the 18th as we get into this, and it was somebody that was grazed by a bullet, or at least that's what I was told how it happened. That would be on Bragg Avenue in Meridian. February 1st, who remembers this? An officer was shot and a suspect was shot inside MPD's bonding room. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Had it not been for the young officer that had just taken the job and used his service weapon to help his fellow officer, he wouldn't be here with us. That, and again, let me point out, with inside MPD. I'm not talking street corners, I'm talking inside the department. A police officer was shot. Y'all remember that. We go to February 9th. 2 people were struck by gunfire in the 4600 block of 5th Street when nearly 200 rounds were fired in the street. This is when they walked down the street, Odie, shooting weapons left and right down through there. I've talked to so many people that live in there that was terrified. 200 shell casings were found on the ground through there. We would visit this location over and over throughout the year. February 10th, the first person was taken to the hospital by private car with a gunshot wound to the stomach. Before they arrived, you'll remember there was a shooting on North Hill Street where the windows were shot out of Cane's restaurant.
Yeah.
This is an indication we've got trouble. In February, there's trouble in North Hills. Trouble. And boy, would we find out about that later. As we go here, our next shooting would happen on February 23rd when a male was struck twice in the 2700 block of 11th Street. February 29th of last year was our first murder. Do you remember this? That little 17-year-old girl that was in the back seat of a car?
Oh, man,
Gunfire broke out, and she died from her wounds at 29th Avenue and 25th Street. That was our first murder of the year.
Wow.
A young, innocent life taken for no reason. March 1st, gunfire broke out when a Lauderdale County deputy pulled over a car in the parking lot of Walgreens. Do you remember this?
I remember that.
The officer was shot in the arm. He returned fire, taking out the suspect there in the parking lot. We were there live as it unfolded that night. He made the traffic stop, asked the guy to step out, and he come out with a weapon. Thankfully, the officer that responded to that was very well trained.
Yeah.
Boy, it's a lot of things that went on with that. Let's see here. That was the biggest thing that happened in April. As we move into May the 4th, a juvenile was shot at 47th Avenue and 5th Street. Odie.
Wait a minute.
15th Street.
Hold on, let's go, because we were just on March. We hadn't touched April yet.
Okay. Oh, I skipped it. Okay.
Because April was something that really touched this entire community.
Yes.
That is just unthinkable.
All right.
Would have happened.
And I did. I lost my place there. March 2nd. We had our second murder of the year at Village Apartment on Mosby Road. We were there for that also.
Yeah.
I can remember standing in the street looking at it. A young man lost his life there in front of the apartments.
Yeah.
A car sped away. He died there. March 10th, a female was also shot at the same location. She made it, but she was shot at Village Apartments. Again, this is a part of that Highway 19 crime. When we talk about Highway 19, it starts about right there and goes all the way down to the interstate. Highway 19 area. May the 4th, a juvenile was shot on 15th Street. Did I skip again there? April.
Yeah.
Why is it that I keep skipping that?
Because this is a hard subject to even think about or talk about. It's subconsciously, this is something that you just don't want to talk about because of an elderly couple that meant a lot to this entire community. At home, when someone, however, got in, welcomed in, or forced their way in, killed 2 of our community members, elderly
94,
members at
97
home.
years old?
Yeah.
Now, again, and I'll say this, it was not a press conference. It was by invite only, and supposedly people called. I'm told I was not invited or called or known that the mayor would give interviews during this. But the mayor, if you remember on another network, made the statement that you could leave your doors open. Let me pull this back up. This is North Hill Street. Now, we don't have the details of what happened, but I'm told that possibility of this person went in the back door. Door may have been unlocked. I don't know that because we have not gotten a full report on this crime of what went on. But I want you to be clear about this, lock your doors.
Yeah.
Just because somebody says you can leave your door open, do not do that. As we move forward, and again, that's awful. That's Meridian's third and fourth murder in April of last year. Let's move forward, Odie, as we go to our next one.
Now we can go to May.
Yeah, I keep wanting to go there. I don't know why I've done that so many times. May the 4th, the juvenile was shot at 47th Avenue and 15th Street. We moved to May the 28th. A person was shot in the shoulder on 43rd block, 36th Avenue. Now, I ain't added the numbers up, but there's a lot of people shot already. It's just May.
Yeah, well, we started off, there's 3 or 4 before we even get to the first murder. So there's people who could have lost their lives and didn't.
May the 28th, a person was shot in the neck on 8th Street. We have our 5th murder roll in on May the 31st at East Mississippi State Hospital. A 59-year-old male was killed in the 1800 block of College Park. If you remember this was, if I remember, an employee was arrested and for that crime of the man that was deceased on that. That's been a while ago now. As we move forward, we move into June. June 8th, one person was shot at an unknown location. Why'd I say that? He wouldn't tell the police where he was shot. They just know that it happened within the city limits of Meridian. He wouldn't talk.
He just went to the hospital and got fixed up, but that's it.
June 17th, a female was shot in the arm on 8th Street and 36th Avenue. June 21st, number 6 rolls in as 4 people were shot. 1 person died at 5th Street and 53rd Avenue, Odie. I remember being there. I think, if I remember correctly, we were going to dinner, and I got the call, and Angie drove me over, and we got out, and there it was. It was shell casings all in the street, as I remember that. And again, with that being, that made number 6 as we moved into the new year. We go to July 10th, the person was shot in the leg in Western Gardens. July 29th, another person was shot in the leg in the 2000 block of 46th Avenue in Meridian. We get into August, and this is the number 1 month for crime that we had. Look at this.
Yeah.
On the 3rd, Meridian's 7th murder would happen. A male was murdered in the 2600 block of Highland Avenue, which was near Highland Park. And once again, I was told don't say Highland Park, but I can see Highland Park from where I'm standing. And the government within Meridian was saying don't use that word. Well, I'm sorry, that's where it was. Again, we had just ended like a touch a truck program at Highland Park, and I left there, and I saw all the cars screaming by, so I followed, and that's what we found up there. A male was inside his home deceased.
So a touch a truck, brings tons of kids out.
Yes.
And then this was
block
3-4 blocks at the most away.
It was really close.
Yeah.
August the 5th, I had 1 person shot in the arm in the 3800 block of 35th Avenue. August the 12th, Meridian's 8th murder would occur on Paulding Street, 40th Avenue and Paulding Street. And again, this is that Highway 19 area as we get into all this.
Yeah.
August the 14th, a male was shot in the leg in the 900 block of 9th Avenue. August the 18th, Meridian's 9th murder would occur at College Park Apartments. Now, as we'll remember about this, it was a female that done this. She stole the owner's truck, ran over him, and left the scene, and they would find her at another location a little bit later on. That made Meridian's 9th murder. Ran over by your own truck. As we go back here to look at this, August the 19th, 1 person was shot in the 2400 block of 41st Avenue. August the 20th, this would be listed as a accidental shooting in the cheek in the 3300 block of North Hill Street. That was a very serious wound. I remember that very well. August the 22nd, we would have our 10th murder in the 1600 block of 37th Avenue near Highland Park. If you remember, again, I'm told, don't say Highland Park. When I could take 1 foot and touch Highland Park and 1 step in the street. But they said, don't do that. You're making Highland Park look bad. No, I'm not. This was the 73-year-old that was killed. His wife was also shot. If you remember, that was a drive-by shooting.
Yeah. Going, if I'm not mistaken, they were actually scared of the gunshot
and got up
to go to the safe space.
And were shot.
And that happened.
He was shot and killed, 73 years old. Yeah, and that's what happened. We go back to our chart. We go to August the 23rd. A juvenile was shot in the leg yet again. He wouldn't tell where it happened. They just knew that it happened in the city limits of Meridian, and that was it. September. Anybody keeping track of all this? We're going to have to do some arithmetic here.
You'll have to add some stuff.
September the 3rd, one person was shot in the leg in 46th Avenue of Hooper Street. September the 3rd, Meridian's 11th murder would happen. This would be right on 8th Street. She was shot and killed in the street, if you'll remember there at 30th Avenue, right next to the store.
Yeah.
That horrible that would happen there. September 11th, a person was shot in the foot in the 3000 block of 10th Avenue. September the 27th, another person was shot in the hand in the parking lot of McDonald's on Highway 19 South. If you remember, it was an argument.
Yeah.
And if I am not mistaken, a person has just been arrested for this who fled and went out of state. I think they just arrested somebody in dealing with this.
Wow.
As we go back here to take a look, September the 29th, our 12th murder would happen. A male was shot in the 2100 block of 41st Avenue. We move into October, our 13th murder. And I remember pulling up, and I stopped a wreck in front of Western Sizzle in a car on the side. And I knew something was happening across town. So I went around, and at the car wash, the police had arrived, and there was a big bag of clothes lying there. And I was told in the beginning, this is probably natural causes. I refused to put that, and we put it as a death. And come to find out, she was strangled to death. A male walked out of there and left the scene. 2 people went in. She would come up, she would go in. A few minutes later, somebody came in there, and then her clothes were placed on top of her. Now, if you died of natural causes, your clothes never would have been on top of you. I'm not a rocket scientist, but it doesn't happen that way. Condolences to her family. She was in her early 50s, if I remember correctly. That saddened by that. But that was that abandoned car wash that happened there. As we go back here, October the 13th, 2 people were shot in the street of 36th Street and Poplar Springs Drive. If you remember, the entire street was blocked off, and that's the night that they surrounded that house where they thought the guy had run, and he was already in Hattiesburg. He had left the scene. It was a standoff with nobody in the house. We stood in the street and filmed. October the 16th, a male was shot in the leg at Village Apartments on Mosby Road. October the 20th, one person was shot in the leg on 33rd Avenue and 24th Street. October the 29th, an infant was shot in the 400 block of 46th Avenue. Later that night, another infant would be shot on Hooper and 3rd Street. We had 2 children, if you remember that. We had, on November the 12th, an accidental shooting, and I put this one in there because it was accidental, of a 5-year-old that was shot. Ended up being okay. They're going to make it. November the 12th, a male was shot multiple times in the 3700 block of 44th Avenue. November the 17th, a male was shot on 8th Street. December the 3rd, let's talk about this. This would be Old Highway 80 West. A male, it was a shootout. He was shot 12 times. Now, do y'all hear me? 12 times. He would get in his Dodge Challenger and back out and leave the scene where it happened there at MCC behind Mr. Rogers there on Old Highway 80. Leave, turn out on Highway 19, go up to College Drive, take a right, go to the end of that road and take a right. Then he would wreck from the gunshot wounds that he had. He would later die from that. 12 times. 12 times. Y'all write that down. We go back here, December the 7th, an accidental shooting is what we're told happened. This was the car that ran off the road that we originally thought there was foul play. After further investigation, this was ruled, I don't know how to word it, but maybe accidental, but...
Yeah, it was... They had some, I guess you could say, some proof that shows that no one else was involved in this.
Over December the 7th, Highway 19 North, I've got it listed. This was in the parking lot of what's the eating place there next to McDonald's? Waffle House in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
We're told that this was accidental discharge of a firearm, and he was rushed to the hospital. They were in the car, not inside. In the parking lot, a gun goes off. He was rushed to the hospital. He would die from his wounds. We're told that it was accidental. As we go back this to wind out the year, December the 19th, our 14th murder, the 200 block of North Hill Street. A 19-year-old was shot and killed over the apartments right past Winn-Dixie. Now, with this, we have one other that has not been determined what happened. A fire that broke out on 29th Avenue and 9th Street, just off of 8th. There's a female in a room. It has not been determined if that's natural causes or if there was foul play. I'm holding out before we close out the year and say it's 14, that it could possibly go to 15. We're waiting to find all of that out, Odie. I know this has been a mouthful. It took a long time to discuss this morning, but we needed to go over this to let you know when somebody tells you later, we didn't have that much crime and crime is down, that you know exactly what happened on the streets of Meridian throughout the year, day by day through the year. Hopefully I got them all. I think I got them. There's a possibility that I was not told of one. We didn't have an officer killed this year. That was the year before last, Teresa.
Yeah, thank goodness. Did you see the comment above? No, I hadn't. We'll have to go back and look. I don't know. We'll go through there. We're looking at waiting for a final number. 5 in the county.
That's what roughly we've got.
14, possibly 15 in the city. County-wide, we're looking at 20 possible murders inside the entire Lauderdale County in 1 year, with a numerous people being shot. Numerous shots fired. Probably can't count how many shots were fired.
Oh, that I can't.
In our community. Something's got to change. Something has got to change the mindset of our kids and bring this community back to the way it was when we had God in it. That's the only way I can figure it out. When we took God out of school, when we took corporal punishment away from our teachers who were raising our kids a third of their life, and started using time out. It goes back to, how's that working for you? We've got to be stronger with what goes on in our community than what we are now.
And we'll go here in a second and change subjects in just a second. But I also want to point out, if you look at what is released by the Meridian Police Department, where they'll say a shot was called in, it was unfounded. Well, in the dark, a police officer may drive up to an area that somebody called one in. It's dark. They can't see the shell casings always. It's not in the street. It could be in the grass. And if they've left the scene, then it's written up as unfounded. It doesn't mean, and let me be frank on that, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It's just that they didn't find the evidence that quick. When somebody does this and there's 40 rounds laying in the street, that's a little bit different. It's easy to spot. But I get reports, and we do appreciate it. We appreciate y'all sending, because sometimes I'm not told about it by the authorities. We need to know what happens. Some things people try to keep on the back burner and don't want you to know, because I'm not trying to hurt tourism. I don't want y'all to know that. That's not our goal here. It's to keep you safe.
Well, here's the reason that you push this stuff out is so the community itself knows what's going on, because the community was the ones that needs to stand up and hold the people responsible for allowing this to happen responsible. That's the ones who are allowing this to happen. And if the community does not know what's actually going on, then what can the community stand up and do?
That's true.
You can't. It's got to be done community-wide, and the only way is to allow people to understand and know exactly what's happening. It's terrible all the way around. One is bad, but 20? Now, I know we got 5 in the county. 3 happened at one time. That's terrible. 5 is way too many, but 15 possibly inside the city limits, the heart of our area. where everybody goes to shop.
We'll have to go back and do the arithmetic here. Last year, I want to say the year before last, which would have been 23, it was like 54 people that were shot total. And I haven't added this up on this one, but the year before. And I got the numbers for the last 5 years, play by play, street by street. We keep up with all of this. So somebody can't say that didn't happen. We got it. We'll be right back as we travel along this morning.
Hi, folks. Paul Brown with Dixie Buildings. We're here to take care of all your building needs for your personal and your business needs. That includes portable buildings, carports, sheds. Don't forget your hunting camps are coming in. You can start out with our 8x10s. If we cannot haul it, we can build it for you on site. We have 2 locations, one on Highway 19 South and our home office just around the corner on Long Creek Road. Just give us a call at 601-483-4943.
Rock House Gun and Pound, located at 5430 Highway 19 North, is ready for spring. From weed eaters to push and riding lawnmowers, and one of the largest selections you'll find in chainsaws, along with power tools and generators for backup power. Maybe you're in the market for a TV or maybe a guitar. And not to mention a large selection of diamond rings and Louis Vuitton purses. The Rock House Gun and Pawn even has a private lobby for your pawns for confidentiality. Visit them today, Highway 19 North, Rock House Gun and Pawn. The tractors are rolling at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494. Drop in and see Keith, Cornbread, or Buttermilk. They've got a tractor that fits the need that you have. Whether it's a 26 horsepower, a 40, or bigger. Plus, they offer 0% financing for up to 96 months. Whether it's a part, a new tractor, 0% financing, or just simply a laugh. 601-626-8759, Highway 494 in Collinsville. That's Freeman Tractor. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie, as we move through this morning, coming up on 8 o'clock, January the 2nd. We do hope you're having a wonderful one. We've been kind of hard-nosed on what happened over the last 20 minutes or so, showing you what went on within the year. We're going to lighten the mood just a little bit here as we move into a few things that happened on this date, January the 2nd. My uncle used to love me, but she died. Chicken ain't chicken till it's looking good fried. Keep on the sunny side.
Oh, you with some Crisco grease.
Yeah, we were talking about King of the Road. Roger Miller, born on this date back in 1936, sang Me and Bobby McGee. What a singer, what a guy he was. Rooms to rent 50 cents. I don't remember the rest.
Da, 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 da,
Something about a push broom. I remember this next guy being sick as a kid, sitting on the couch, when you got your blankets and you're sick, missing school. It was like Good Morning America he would always appear on. Anybody remember Jack Hanna?
He had a bunch of shows.
He did. And Odie, correct me if I'm wrong, did he end up with dementia? And he may still be alive, I may not be sure, but I want to say he got very sick in the end.
Yeah.
But boy, what he done for mankind, that was nice of him.
Yeah.
He did do a lot for those old animals there. 1936, how do you, I always just, when I see his name, I think of another name, Jessica.
Oh, yep. She
Jim
got
Baker.
caught up in the middle of it.
And the lady who didn't know how to do makeup over there.
She knew how to do it. She put it all on. I bet his...
something that you might see in the back of a truck stop.
Yeah. I
Jim
bet
Baker.
his makeup bill was enormous.
It was for her. It didn't matter. He was misusing.
Yeah, I mean, he had the money. Yeah.
That was a toughie there for America. Anybody remember the guy Tex Ritter? 1974. Do you know who his son?
John Ritter's daddy.
Yep. Odie's on this morning.
That's it.
Tex would be a country singer for years and also his fair share of movies. But John would move forward with being a comedian. He'd done quite well there.
He did do good.
This is awful that this has ever came along, Odie. And there's somewhere right now somebody with a pen waiting. Well, they don't use pens anymore, do they?
Oh, no. They got a computer that spits everything out right there. Yeah.
Speed limit, 55. What was that song, I Can't Drive 55?
I can't drive 55.
You remember
that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 55. Well, we're going to do that to save gas.
It was 1960 that this guy would announce that he was running for president of the United States, and he did. JFK.
Wow.
He battled that, and well, he won it in the end. Do you remember? Did you watch any of this 90210 stuff?
Never. I've never seen.
Angie
one
used to watch it. It's the only reason I recognize faces. I didn't watch the show, but Gabrielle Carteris, maybe.
I'll go with you. I still don't know.
She had one of those like B parts in the show. So she has a birthday today. She was born back in '61. Anybody remember a guy named Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah, he is a great actor.
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire, good as it gets. He's got some more films that I think are a lot better than those, and that was the Navy diver.
Yeah, we put the suit on.
Yep, and then the football player that Radio was the name of that movie. Man, that was great.
I forgot about Radio.
Yes,
and there's a lot more of that in America than we realize.
Yeah.
1969, this guy named Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that he's still with us. Y'all remember this guy from the Rocky movies where Rocky trained him in the streets?
Then he had to go whoop him at the end of the show.
He had to do that. Not one of the best Rockies there ever was. That was getting slim. Yeah. 1981, do anybody remember the name Drifter, the song Drifter? Sylvia. She was the one who sang Nobody. Will your nobody call today? And she hung up when I asked her name.
Oh, yeah.
Drifter was that #1 hit that she had from there. Kind of got mixed up with Crystal Gale with the long hair. A lot of people. 1968. This was one. Wow. Whether what you've done in life, being in prison, I'm sure teaches you a lot of things. When you're standing there and someone is being led down the hall to their end, it can inspire, and this song did. Lead Me Back Home was released today from 1968, the mighty Merle Haggard. And it's a song of a guy that's being led down the hall to be executed, and he asked the guard on the way, he said, can my best friend play my guitar and sing a song that my mama sang? Ooh. Oh, and it's touching, and it takes you in those final moments of what goes on. Merle Haggard.
Wow. Oh, man, everybody.
So did Ginger give in to him, you think?
I don't
think they split a banana later?
I don't think so. I think he was a poor fellow.
Alan Hale. But he did have a crush on Ginger.
Yeah.
And the professor had the crush on Marianne, and maybe Gilligan had a crush on her.
Well, Marianne had a crush on Gilligan.
Did she?
Yeah. But he was just too cute to know it. And then poor Thurston, he was the only one had his wife.
Third.
Yeah. Come here, lovey-dovey.
Who totes that much money with him there, Odie?
Yeah.
He had
I'm
a
not
suitcase.
leaving home without it. Yeah, he had a suitcase of...
Odie, I'd almost forgotten about this. John Travolta's life has had a lot of tragedy in it. It would be today that he would lose one of his sons. His son, Jet, passed away in 2009, died of a seizure at the age of 16, and we all know he lost his wife not all that long ago.
Yeah.
John Travolta has had, truly, if you look back at his career, as you go back, he had Vinnie Barbarina. He went on to do Saturday Night Fever. He would go on to Urban Cowboy. Look at the movies that he has Grease, to where anybody else would be just glad to have one of those movies in their life.
Face Off.
Face Off. Then he went into, what was the one there? That had the dance they always show.
That was Fever.
No. This was the one where he was with the bad guys. Bruce Willis was in it, and in the basement there. They done drugs there and sold drugs, and he was part of it, and I can't think of the name.
Swordfish. He was in Swordfish.
The other one will come to me there, but
yeah.
Travolta has just done so many great movies there.
Pulp Fiction. That's it. Thank you, Austin.
Man, that was a good movie. I can remember Bruce Willis sitting at that red light with the Statler brothers on, counting flowers on the wall, and that big guy crosses the street. Hubba, hubba, hubba. 2013, Ned Whitmer would pass away, and you go, well, who is that?
Mr. J. Mr. J.
He always wanted a tip, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He had complications from a fall, and he would pass away at the age of 89. Now, I don't know that he'd done anything else other than the Jeffersons. I don't recognize him from anything else.
I don't either. He probably made enough off Jeffersons he didn't have to.
We want you to look at the picture here on the screen of somebody that's very tall, somebody that's kind of down here, because it all went out behind the barn.
Yeah.
We would lose little Jimmy Dickens in 2015. That's him and Trace.
Well, Trace is already. They shouldn't use that side by side because he's what, 6'8"
or 9. He's humongous. Little Jimmy Dickens.
Yeah.
And again, Jimmy done a lot for his time growing up. He toured with Hank and done so much there. And I looked this up because I remember the song, Love Will Keep Us Together. The Captain and Tennille, they had some song about Muskrat Love. Do y'all remember this? 2019, he would pass away. He was the captain. But I dug into this morning because I kept thinking there's something odd about this. You remember the song Love Will Keep Us Together?
Yeah.
Well, they were married for 40 years and got a divorce in 2014. I mean, after 40 years, Odie.
Might as well stick it out.
She claimed it was some medical issues there that's why she got a divorce. There's something about that line, for better or for worse.
For richer, for poor.
Better for worse. In times of sickness.
And in health.
That went out the window there.
Well, I've heard of people becoming ill, and so ill they're saying, look, this is not fair for you to have to deal with. I just go and start your life. After 40 years, how could you do that? Wow.
That's true. Anybody remember the cover of TV Guide back in 2022? I didn't even know they really made it until I ran up on this. Yellowstone, that was the hottest thing on television.
Well, we'll see how this plays out because supposedly they're going to have their own little show.
They've got what is it, 1893, 1923. All of that doesn't matter anymore the way this show ended. But of a family that fought to keep what was theirs to lose it all in the end.
To give it, they sold it all back.
It was of no value. Nothing that they've done in that show now is worth anything.
Well, so you go back and I don't know why they did this. Maybe it was an afterthought, and they said, "Hey, look, we can go back and say what happens, how they got to where they are." So you started 1883, and before you could even finish season 1, you started 1923.
Yeah,
and then before you could even finish it, you tried to do something else with 1883. I think they just now getting back around. They hadn't finished 1883, and they're trying to start another season of 1923, and none of it makes any sense. Y'all need to figure out how you're going to go about it, because now what you just said,
and let's just throw
none of it matters.
It doesn't. And let's throw Landman into it.
I'll tell you what.
Didn't he also do Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah. He's involved with.
We can't deny that he's a great writer, but let's do one thought at the time, because us slow people can't keep up with it.
It's got to make sense. Now, it took, 20-something years for the actual part 1, part 2, and part 3 of Star Wars to come.
Yeah,
we went our whole life thinking 4, 5, and 6 was actually 1, 2, and 3. So you could have waited about 15 years and come out and say, well, this is how all that actually happened. And it would have made more sense. But,
coming up, I'll tell you about a little trip I made to Dalewood bright and early as the sun was breaking yesterday morning. It was a car accident. We'll tell you about that next.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. This is Otis here with his American flag. You can't miss him there.
That's right.
And as soon as someone's back in town, we'll change the decorations from Christmas to something new.
We got Valentine's Day.
Our interior decorator is out of town.
Yeah. Left him here by himself.
Yeah,
and the dog.
We search every day for lunch.
Yeah, you just help the economy because the money you're spending at all these restaurants right now.
Hubba hubba. We made a trip to Dalewood yesterday morning as the sun was breaking on New Year's Day. Rump row. That and the bridge don't go together, do they?
That could have ended up worse than what it looks like.
Absolutely there.
Wow.
We got a little trash there that needs to be picked up. We're working on that.
Looks like somebody's run it over a time or two.
Yep. Someone may have been detained in that.
Yeah.
I think I actually passed them as I was hitting there.
So they didn't get to go home.
No, they didn't get that.
Not right then.
Yeah, they got to go home later if somebody come pick them up. We had a car struck with gunfire over the weekend. We wanted to point that out. This would happen in the 3000 block of 37th Street. Now, I'd like to tell you that I could track all of that, but there's no way each year because there's just too many. And I don't always get all of the information that I need to track that. But it's a lot of cars that are struck.
Wow.
New Year's Eve night. We responded here. Look at this, Odie, as the fire truck is arriving on scene. That Michael Ted check into them brakes.
Yeah, if I need to put some oil on them or something,
we have a Mustang that's not supposed to be there, Odie.
Yeah, that's not a good place to pull.
There's another scene.
Oh, is that truck involved?
It sure looks it.
Ooh.
That was over on Grand Avenue as we went there. Right before that, we would go up to Anderson's Hospital. This happened first. Everybody trying to get to the hospital.
And that's a four-way stop.
It is.
How you do that at four? Never mind. I drive these roads too.
It happens. Gives you a look at the behind the scenes of what goes on in the streets. And really and truly, after these two incidences, for the most part, it became rather quiet overnight on New Year's Eve. It was a calm night. Didn't really a whole lot happen there. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
Let me show you this. Charles Young Jr., who is a U.S. House of Representatives for the state of Mississippi, passed away on December the 19th. They had his funeral this weekend. And let me show this, Odie. This is as it comes up in front of Baptist. You'll see the hearse and the funeral procession coming, and he is being led in a horse-drawn, I want to say carriage, but that's not it. It's what do you...
Horse-drawn hearse. Yeah.
And here it comes. This would travel from Highway 45 all the way over to Highway 80 West. And as it passes there... as Meridianites paid their final respects to Charles. He had been a member of the U.S. House of District 82 since 2011. Before him, his father had that seat. And we pass condolences along to the family on that, as well as we look back on that funeral there.
It didn't hear, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen, just nobody had contacted us, and I didn't hear anything, but I'm sure we had flags at half-staff for him. I'm going to miss that. He called me at least twice, if not 3 or 4 times a year, check and make sure you okay. Really enjoyed working with him over at the House of Representatives. He was really looked after our community. But flags still at half-staff because of President Jimmy Carter.
Correct.
Passing, and stay half-staff until January 29th. So remember that. We're going to still see the flags at half-staff, and if you've got one, put them down.
We had a little disagreement going over at Frank Berry Courts on New Year's Eve morning.
Oh.
And the whole force thought they needed a cup of coffee, so they come on out. Here's a quick view of that, of all the police that were on duty were there.
Oof.
Maybe there was one
that hung back.
Yeah, maybe. But
just to make sure something else didn't.
Had a lot of people show up for that little incident there. I was driving around on New Year's Eve, and I couldn't help but notice Odie in the middle of the street. And I looked. I said, Odie, what's that in front of you? It's somebody laying in the street. Just right there by the bank. And here we go. If you'll notice, Odie and the police blocking the street so somebody wouldn't get run over.
Yeah, he was up on the curb, lost his footing and fell, and just wanted to get him checked out and make sure he was okay. Yeah.
We had someone last night that decided to go ahead and sleep in the parking lot of Walgreens in the back of the parking lot. I think the Meridian Fire Department were returning to Station 1 and kept noticing, well, there's somebody laying there. So they pulled over. Possibly they may have taken some stuff that's illegal that made them fall out in the parking lot, Odie.
So they wasn't waiting for the opening time.
Correct, yeah. They just couldn't make it across the parking lot anymore. Flop. It's going to be days like that when you take stuff you shouldn't.
There's a song about that.
Yes, it is.
Mama said there'd be days like that.
You're absolutely right. Now, let me go here and show you the latest from the National Weather Service. Let me update here and pull this up.
Yeah.
Because we have an abundance that we're finding out of tornadoes that happened in our area. Let me scroll down here to it, Odie. Here we go. This is coming in from the National Weather Service as of this morning here. 24 confirmed, and there may be more. If you'll notice here, here's one down in Enterprise, come across there. We have 2 in Lauderdale, one down in the southeast area and another up here by NAS Meridian.
So the one that started down here southwest of Bay Springs.
Right there?
Down in, So that seems to be the same long track. And that's something that we have around here that's different from Oklahoma and all that, is a long track. I mean, these things take off and go forever. And you see that typically around here.
What about right here?
Man, I mean, look at that. I mean, that if they go back and look, they could probably connect that entire system together. We know the other one was. But overall, look, God put his hand over us and really protected us. We got a lot of trees down.
We had no loss of life in the immediate area.
Yeah.
Adams County, we had a death when a tree come through a house, and then we had someone where electricity was lost in Lowndes County, and they lost their life due to needing oxygen, wasn't it?
Yep, that was it.
So those were the 2 deaths. None of that is good, don't get me wrong. But the devastation, we could be sitting here talking 29, 30, 31 people. You never know. Now, there is a chance of severe weather rolling in on Sunday night. We're watching that. We'll have more of this as this develops to let you know what to expect. We're also monitoring that small, minute chance of snow that could happen the 9th and 10th of January. We're watching it very closely. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Odie as we travel along.
This is going to be our biggest year-end clearance event ever here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia. Inventory is up and rates are finally down. We promise to save you thousands on any of our new inventory. From Siennas to Sequoias, Camrys to Corollas, Tundras, Tacomas, no matter the model, we will not be undersold. We want your business. With interest rates as low as 1.99%, top dollar value for your trade-in, and thousands off all of our inventory, Doc's Toyota is your clear choice for your next Toyota purchase. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook, and remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
When it comes to enhancing your outdoor experience, you need a companion that can keep up. The Kubota RTV 850 Sidekick at Parrish is your ultimate utility vehicle for every adventure. From the deer camp, trail riding, or just working on the farm, the Sidekick delivers powerful performance and versatility. These units start at $15,499 cash and have a $2,000 rebate. Financing is available as low as $285 a month.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. And Odie, we are so glad that you chose us to get your headlines this morning. We have a missing pup that we need to bring up.
This isn't a regular pup. This is one of them there big golden doodles, a friendly black golden doodle, currently looking for his home.
There you go. Near Valley Road is where it happened. He's a male. He's not wearing the red vest that I think of at this point.
Yep.
So if you happen to see him, he looks different than most pups do. Get in touch with us. Inbox us. We'll be glad to contact the owner if you happen to see him.
Them suckers get big, too.
They do. If you remember, that was a dog like that was similar to a situation that happened in Philadelphia over ownership of a dog. You remember that?
Yes.
That was last year.
No cheap
sometime.
Dog, you know.
Now, I don't know if this is, I'm assuming that this is back open. Maybe it isn't. The FAA had temporarily shut down flight restrictions there in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
You know, and I feel sorry for the people who really wanted to go to the Sugar Bowl. They bought their tickets, they got their hotel, they've got everything planned out, and now it's put on hold. And now are they going to take off work, or can they stay? Because now you got to pay for more rooms or whatever. I know it's been a huge letdown, a huge change of plans for a lot of people. But look, we've got to keep everybody safe and find out what's really going on behind this attack.
Louisiana State Police still has this up as we go down through here. Here's the picture that the FBI put out on this guy, and it's still listing there's flight restrictions into New Orleans.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that you could be there and, well, not get out.
Exactly.
I've been to the train station there and don't ever want to go back.
Well, that's how we used to go back in the day. We would take a train in and train back home.
I went in and picked somebody up, and I thought, woof, let's go.
Now,
roll your window up quick.
This was 30 years ago.
Yeah, this was probably 10, 12 years ago that I was there.
Yeah, and I ain't been there since then.
Yeah, me either. And don't intend on going. Y'all can have that little portion there in New Orleans. But that's a rundown on all the major headlines. We've got a big show coming up tomorrow. Don't forget. Julia, I've heard she's back in town.
She's flying in.
She is.
Greg going to be here with us?
Greg's coming. The Red Eye's coming with her. Who we got having birthdays? I heard wait a minute. I heard there was a big one, Odie, in your household.
There is a very special birthday going out to my beautiful wife, Amy. She's getting old, Scotty Ray.
Is she?
She's older than I am.
Oh.
She's 54 years old today.
Bless it.
Yes. So happy birthday, honey. I love you. And we'll take you out to eat wherever you want to go. I think you still find a 2-for-1's place.
You still giving her Botox? You said something about she might need something. You still doing that?
No, she's still good and natural. No, we'll go wherever you want to go, baby. I love you, honey.
This is getting too
She's
mushy.
So old, I got to remind her twice.
Way too mushy, Odie.
She may not even remember it was her birthday today, you know.
Look, I'm telling y'all, these two are like teenagers.
Oh, she puts up with me. I know it. It's got to be killer. But our buddy Al Willis has got a birthday today.
Really?
Yesterday. I'm sorry, Al. Yesterday. Willard Green.
Rat.
And this is the last time we saw him.
Suck up.
Willard Green had a birthday yesterday. Ashley Simmons, one of those that helped keep that Simmons Wrecker service going, an old machine. She's got a birthday today. Eric Plowman, Jeff Shirley, Gil Sharp, Ronald McDivitt, Melissa Webb Davis, and Mason Bradley, 18 years old today. Man.
So what month is your birthday in?
Mine's in March.
March is not all that far off.
No, it's not.
So hang in there, Odie.
It's coming quicker. Then I'll try and catch up with
Well, they at some point they just like...
Yeah, they do that. It's like bills come once a month. Boom, 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 boom. That birthday just swings around. Christmas.
It does.
You know, we got Christmas, then Braylon's birthday, and then Amy's birthday, my daughter's birthday. Everything's all right there. Wow.
Boy.
It's a hallmark moment. Look at
I'm
me.
just so proud of y'all. Just incredible there.
Yeah.
We do see that San Diego cop, we have to say congratulations there when they make a change and difference. They saved a little baby who stopped breathing. A cop pulled over and saved
is great.
There's always good things in this world also that go on.
Yes.
As always, you got a good message for us to begin this day,
Let's
Odie?
see what we're going to pull up. What this computer sent us today is Romans 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by renewing of your mind, that may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect to the will of God. And that's it. We can't just go and abide by what's going on in the world and have that acceptance as normal. God tells us exactly how to act and what to do, and He puts it in a Bible. We have our own instructions that come with it. Invite Him into your heart. He will change your life. He will forgive of everything that's ever been done. And He is the one that can clean up our world, our country, and our city and our county by just bringing him in the forefront and having him lead the way. Y'all have a wonderful day. Friday's coming. We'll be back. The whole gang will be here tomorrow. Until then, remember, we love you, stay safe, and have a great day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.